Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a guide on 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. In this video, we're going to have a bunch of tips, and I have a script here actually for what I want to talk about. If you are a complete pro at this game, like a veteran, like you've already played on Japanese servers and whatnot, go ahead and just skip over this one, because there's really no reason. But if you're new to the game or you're having trouble with a specific stage or something, I'm sure there's something you could take from this video that could help you progress in the game or help you like not waste resources or something along those lines. Now, the first thing that I'm going to say in this video is make sure, for the love of God, that your account is connected. Make sure that you have your account connected to either Facebook, your Apple account, or your Gmail. Make sure it's connected so you don't lose your progress. Because I guarantee you, if you lose your progress, you will never play the game again. I had the same issue with, I played a lot of mobile games in my time. I had the same issue with Clash of Clans. I lost all my progress, and again, losing progress in a game that you've put a lot of time into is incredibly disheartening. So, I'm just going to say right now, go and connect it to something, anything, it doesn't matter. Just do it right now to protect your, first off, your account, and second off, so you don't lose everything. So, the next thing that I want to say, because I've seen a lot of people who just don't seem to realize this, every day, when the reset happens, you can go to this little keg here, and you can get 3 sets of Vanya Ale. We're actually going to explain a part of the game right now, after collecting our 3 things of Vanya Ale. So let me collect these really quick. And then, once you have the Vanya Ale, you can click on a character, and you can give the character the Vanya Ale to make their friendship affinity increase. So, like, perfect example would be, for Bon, I already have him maxed out. Another thing, don't use crystals to purchase these, it's a waste. But I just did this using Vanya Ale every day and by giving him food. So, like, who do I want to get the cosmetic for next? Probably Green Meliodas, because Green Meliodas is just so good. So go to Green Meliodas, give him all your wine, apply, and you get a free 900 points a day just from the Vanya Ale alone. For some reason, people just don't know that's in the game, but you know it's there, and every day you should be collecting that. So that you can get the cosmetics that you want for your characters. Because again, you shouldn't be buying them with gems, you should just level up their affinity, and there's plenty of good cosmetics you can get for the characters in that sense. Next, we are going to be talking about rerolling. A lot of people have been saying, should I reroll on global? The basic answer is, not really. There's honestly no reason unless you're specifically going for either Green Meliodas or you're going for like Green King. That's the only reason I would say to reroll right now on global. On Japan, people reroll all the time for Escanor and stuff like that, but it's really not necessary on global. Okay, so what I was going to say is the only character that I'd really reroll for right now would be Green Captain Meliodas. Just because he's so good in the current, like in global server, he's honestly amazing. When it comes to, if you're having issues with Hendrickson, Green Meliodas can solo the 3rd form of Hendrickson. At least mine did. At level 60, he soloed him with, I popped a lifesteal dish, he got low, I popped level 3 counter, and he one-shot Hendrickson, so that was interesting. If you're having any injuries, any issues with Hendrickson, I would say definitely look to get look to get Green Meliodas. He is so good. Like, so amazingly good. Alright. And then the only other units that I would say are like must-haves for this part of the game are given you for free. So like perfect example would be Blue King. Blue King is really good for the Red Demon. The Red Demon fights on Extreme. If you are getting up Petrifies, you can just say, like in the global stat using chat or using stamps, you can say I have Petrify, and then you petrify the Red Demon. Red Demon doesn't get a turn. Red Demon doesn't do DPS. And then the Red Demon raids are a joke. The other character that is amazingly good would be Red Bon. Red Prisoner Bon is so good. He does an absurd amount of damage. And that, funnily enough, that actually brings us to our next topic, which is talking about the ultimate moves for characters. When it comes to specifically Bon, so Bon's little effect that he has on his ultimate is he ignores defense. When you max this out to level 6, it's a 1050% multiplier. This does insane damage to the Red Demon, and this does insane damage to most of the bosses for the SP dungeons, as well as the Experience dungeons, enhancements, whatever, and all of that. Red Bond is one of my personal favorite units in the game. Another good unit we'll be looking at is Mascot Hawk and Elizabeth. She's a green. The reason that she is so good is because not only does her ultimate do an absurd amount of damage, but her first skill reduces the defense of the enemy, and this does work on the Gray Demon when he's on the ground, when he doesn't have his immunity. So if you pop Defense Break on the demon, and then you can pop any, Green Bond, or not Green Bond, Green King. Green King has an effect where for each harmful effect that the enemy has, your skill will deal more damage. So if you pop Defense Break on the enemy, and then you pop Green King's skills, you will do an absurd amount of damage. And then that brings us to our next unit that we're going to be talking about, which is, funnily enough, another Elizabeth. So apparently not many people know this, but Boar Hat Tavern Hostess Elizabeth, her passive... So first I'll show you guys the passive here in just a moment. It'll take a little bit because it's delayed because I'm using Screen Link, which isn't great. But, so we'll show you Close Call there. If you read that, it's a heal for 20% of max HP at the start of the next turn. So, just a moment. I'll probably do a cut here. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not 20%, it's 10%. So when you go to set your team, you can put Red Elizabeth as your sub. And while Red Elizabeth is your sub, the rest of your team will still benefit from that. Well, they'll still benefit from that each turn. So, say that I'm in PvP, my entire team gets hit by an AoE, and then it comes to the next turn. Even though Red Elizabeth is still, like, waiting to come out, right? She's waiting for somebody to die so she can pop out. I'm still getting the 10% heal each turn, which is really, really nice. It really adds up over time. Another thing that we were going to talk about was the rates for the game. So, this game compared to other mobile games. So, the first example I want to give, because goddamn I love but hate that game, is Summoner's War. If you've ever played Summoner's War, pulling a Nat 5 in Summoner's War is an absolute nightmare. Especially pulling a Light and Dark Nat 5. But the system that this game has, that makes it to where you're guaranteed to get Nat 5s, is anytime you do 5 11 times draws, your next 11 times draw guarantees an SSR character. So, when you are farming for gems and whatnot, and you're constantly putting them into a banner, after you've done 5 11 times draws, your 6th 11 time draw will guarantee you an SSR character. So, basically, the game won't just shaft you constantly, and you're not just wasting currency. Which is why, honestly, in Summoner's War, I use gems for energy and not for summons. Another thing I wanted to say was they are separate. So, it's separate from banner to drawing for, like, base heroes for SSR. If you look at the top, the little thingy there is different. And then another thing I want to say is always do 11 times draw. Do not do single draws. There's really no point in doing single draws. The extra character is always better. So you should always be doing the 11 times draws. Just save up to 30. I know it might be difficult for some people. I have difficulties with that too. I'm not good at saving stuff up. But in this case, it is definitely worth it. Alright, and then we're going to talk about the rates here really quick. When you're doing rates for a specific character, so like in this, Great Mage Merlin is at a 0.5% because it is her banner, while the other SSRs are at a 0.21. So I have done, I believe, 12. No, I've done 14. I think I've done 14 11 times draws on the Merlin Mage, by the way. By the way, have not put a penny into this game yet. I've done 11 times, I've done 14 of the 11 times draws. Still have not gotten Mage Merlin. I've gotten a lot of SSRs from this, but I keep getting the 0.21s instead of getting Great Mage Merlin. The only reason that I really want Merlin, to be honest, I'm not really going to be using her. I will be using her as a support for Escanor when Escanor comes out, which actually brings us to our next topic, talking about assist characters. So, when you go to set your team, we'll let this load up for you guys really quick. You have these little characters at the bottom of the cards. Those characters can be set to increase the stats of your main characters that are in your party. So, for example, What the game will try to do, especially with Red Bond, is it will attempt to put the guard and the prisoner, I believe it's Jude, I think is his name. I think it's Holy Knight Jude. It'll try to put Holy Knight Jude, but if you notice, there's less stats for Holy Knight Jude. And then, so here we go, we'll set that. But then if I were to set Gila instead, I would get more stats, but I wouldn't get the crit rate, which isn't great. But because Gila is 60 and she's UR, it gives more stats to the main character on the team. So that is why you want to level other characters so that you can set them as the assist characters to raise the stats of that main character. There are also special associations that characters have, like Green Meliodas has a special association with Deanne, King has special associations with Deanne, stuff like that. It changes their ultimate, it raises the damage by a little bit. So the perfect example for me would be when I get Escanor, I want to set the animation for Merlin as the assist character, because Escanor uses Cruel Sun, and then she uses Perfect Cube to condense the Cruel Sun animation, and then I think she actually punches them in the chest or something. It's a really great animation that I love. I've seen it on Japanese like twice in PvP, which is why I want it so bad on Global when it comes out. So the next thing that we're going to talk about, I'm going to go... Have we crashed yet? No, we're still rolling. Alright, sweet. Man, okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about was on our list of things... Alright, our next topic actually has to do with Coin Shop. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the shop here really quick, or I'm going to go and show you the draw. Excuse me. So, if you were to do an 11 times draw, right? If you got characters that you already had, they would be converted into coins that can either be used, as you saw earlier, to increase a person's damage on the ultimate move, or they can be used in the coin shop to purchase characters that are available that week. So if you look at the Platinum coin shop, the current two that are on sale is Blue Bon as well as Green King. I purchased Green King 2 days ago, I think. And then if you look at the gold, you can purchase coins for other characters as well. I have been purchasing characters for Hauser because I want to max him out because he's going to be my farmer. I'll talk more about Hauser later when it comes to farming stages. And then, so we've got silver, gold, and then we've got the friendship. Another reason to add friends in this game is you can get the friendship points and you can use them to purchase more stamina recovery potions. Stamina recovery potions are very important in this game. The game gives you a lot of them, but there will be a point where you're running out. So for me personally, when it comes to the silvers, I always use the silvers on gold, me personally. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that is the most sufficient way or most efficient way of doing so when it comes to the shop, but that's what I personally do. And then you can use the coins to purchase coins for specific characters that you want to level up their ultimates more. There might, like, a certain SSR character might be out of rotation at the time, but if you wait, they'll come into rotation. It just takes a while. And the next part we are going to talk about is... Got my little thingy here. The campaign. So, when you go to the quests and you're doing the full campaign, each world, as you finish the campaign, once you have finished a full chapter, you can go back to the main town, and you can do a bunch of quests for the people and raise up your heart rating with the town itself. Now, as you raise the heart rating, you will unlock more quests, and once you have finished all of the quests for that town, you get a sweet, you can't see it here because I've already collected it. It'll pop up in just a moment because there's a little bit of delay. Just wait for the delay to be over. And once you click here on the acquired, you can collect 30 crystals, which is again, 11 times summons, which is really nice. You can do this for each chapter as well. So the game's already giving you what? 30, 60, 90, 120... It's giving you 180 crystals just from completing all the quests alone. And you also get crystals while doing the quests, as well as getting crystals by just completing the stages. And then another thing I wanted to show you guys, specifically when it comes to the world, was when it comes to like each stage, make sure you're doing the normal, the hard, and the extreme version of each stage. Or I guess the easy, normal, and hard. When you completed each for the first time, you get a crystal just for beating it for the first time. And then in the first one, I want to talk about the SP dungeon as well. I think this will really help people out. If I'm going too fast, slow down the video a little bit. I just want to get through this quickly because I don't want to get distracted, because I get distracted very easily. When it comes to Evolve, so perfect example, the first stage, so you can get 3-star, 2-star, and 1-star Grimoires. Once you beat the 6th stage, and you can begin to farm and auto it. If I were you, I honestly wouldn't be doing these stages unless you can auto it. So like from a gold box, you would be getting a Grimoire of HP. From a silver box, you would be getting, you'd be getting a 5-star Grimoire of HP. For a silver box, you would be getting a 4-star, and for a bronze box, you would be getting a 3-star. Now, for beating this stage in itself, you do get a 5-star Grimoire. When it comes to evolving heroes, so in order to get a character to 65, I need to get a 60 character really quick. In order to limit break, you need to have the 6-star. You need to have a 6-star Grimoire of HP. Now, the only way to get 6-star Grimoires of HP is to go to is to go to King in the Tavern, right? So once you have 6 5-star Grimoire of HPs, you can go to King, you can trade them into King, and you can exchange for a 6-star. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this a few times here to show each time, just to make this easier, I guess. So look, see, I'm turning the 4-star into a 5-star and the 3-star into a 4-star. And then again, you can keep going up the line. You do need 6, so once you have 6 5-stars, you can make a 6-star, and then I could evolve Meliodas to limit break him to where he can go from level 60 to level 65. You might be thinking, oh, it's just 5 levels, that's not a lot. Well, the 5 levels is actually a lot when it comes to stats. So like, here, let's go ahead and see. My level 65 Undead Bond is at 23k, almost 24k for combat class. My level 60 Meliodas is at 20k. Mind you, he's at 4 stars and Meliodas is at 3. But then when you go and you look at their equipment is actually pretty similar in that sense, I believe. Yeah, their equipment is pretty similar. Alright, what are we going to talk about next? Gotta make this quick, I don't want to bore anyone. We talked about assist characters, we talked about re-rolling, back up your account, how rare are the rates, coin shop, how rare are the resources, the campaign, farming dungeons and materials. So I think that was a good enough explanation. If not, leave a comment down below and I can answer any questions you may have about it. And I've got the notifications on my phone for YouTube comments, so if you do leave a comment, just know I'm going to respond pretty quick. So just be watching for my response and we can have a conversation about it. Another thing I was going to say is gold. Dear God, do you go through gold quickly in this game. So if you are just kind of sitting there doing something random, I would say definitely be farming for gold during those times if you don't want to be doing quests. Because, man, do you need gold. Holy crap, do you need gold. And also, if you're having issues leveling up your characters, like your character's at like level 30 and you need them to be 60 to beat the next stage or something, if you go to the SP dungeon, which is in the first stage, I just showed you guys going there, you can click on Enhance and you can do these to get Hero Enhanced Potions. Speaking of Hero Enhanced Potions, that's actually a good segue into... so when you're leveling up characters... excuse me. You want to make sure... I don't have any Hero Enhanced Potions right now, so I can't show a very good example. But when you have a level 1 hero and you're upgrading them, make sure you are putting all of your XP potions in at once. This isn't like Summoner's War where you should be doing one Angel Bond at a time, hoping for super, or for 1.5 times XP. You want to put it all in at first because it's only 600 gold to start with. As you level up a character, it increases the amount of gold it takes per potion to put into them. So when my character, I was downloading something on my Xbox to turn off. So for 1 to 10 for characters, it's 600 gold per potion. Once you get to like level 40, it's like, I think it's like 1800 gold per upgrade. And it might seem like a little, but it really adds up over time when you're, if you're not putting it all in the very beginning. And then let's go ahead and, what else did I want to talk about? Characters that are really good for PvP. Alright, so for PvP, if you want to grind up to gold or platinum, the best team you could use, to be honest, or you can get to platinum with Red Bond, Blue King, and Blue Meliodas, or Blue Deanne. Alright, so for late game PvP, I would say your best bet would be Green Jericho. as your main DPS as of right now. Things will change over time, but as of right now, I would say Green Jericho is your best bet. But to be honest, to get to Platinum right now, which is what people should be going for, all you honestly need is the characters that the game gives you for completing the story. So, not that difficult to get up to, or not that difficult to get up that far. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about, I had it right up here, hold on. Right, gameplay mechanics, which is probably what we should have showed in the beginning. But I'm going to go ahead and load into, what is my current quest? We'll go ahead and load a quest really quick here. Alright, so in here we are now going to show what the difference is. So Bon is a red unit, which means that he will deal less damage to the blue enemy. Meliodas is a green unit, which means that he will deal more damage to the red enemy. And Bon is a blue unit, as well as the enemy being a blue unit, which means he will deal unmitigated damage to the blue enemy. When I say unmitigated, I mean it's not increased or decreased, having to do specifically with their factional advantage. So, that is the gameplay bit. When it comes to connecting skills, I can connect these two to make it a 2-star skill. It goes from dealing... how much damage? So we're at 300%. Normally the skill would do 120% of damage. So, it is always better to make your skill a 2-star if you're going to use it. And then, for example, would be for Meliodas. Say right here, Meliodas goes from doing 100% of his HP to 150 when it's a 2-star. And then for Bon, or not for Bon, I'm sorry, for King, when you combine Kings to Purify skills, they would become an AoE heal as well as the Purify. So that is specifically for that. And then there's another question that people had. They were asking when it comes to canceling out. If you just click on the little things here, you can cancel out and you don't have to move at all. And then you can always combine alike skills. So in a situation like this, where I have Bon's red and then Meliodas' defensive moves, Bon's attack move, Meliodas' defensive, always just do that because you can combine the two immediately and it's much easier. All right, so that's the end of combat. Go ahead and set that to auto. So the basic of this video is, for everything that is in this game is incredibly fair with the rates and with the gems and drawing and whatnot. The game gives you a endless supply of gems. It really does. It gives you an absurd amount. So while you're playing this game, remember the game is very fair. You honestly do not need to put money into this game. If you save up the gems that the game gives you, you will be able to guarantee yourself whatever character comes out that you want. Alright, if you guys have anything that you think I should have added to this video, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. And again, if you guys have a better way that I can record Grand Cross videos, please leave a comment below telling me how, or message me on Twitter and give me a rundown and teach me, because man, I need a better way to do this, because the delay that ScreenLink has, which is the app by Elgato, is miserable. It is giving me a headache. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.